Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome back to my channel and my vlogs. If you saw the previous one, then you know that I'm kind of in the middle of editing a project. If you watched my previous vlog, then you know that I'm in the middle of editing a novel that I wrote last year. I decided to break down my editing path or my editing process into chunks. The idea is that I'm going into the story looking for specific arcs and character moments and events, and then editing in passes. So the previous video, I talked mostly about handling my actual protagonist when it came to his internal conflict, his arc, and I believe I ended that video talking about how there's two characters who in my next pass I would like to go over the whole story and look at their arcs and see if I wrote them correctly. One character in particular is written a lot more clear in that first draft compared to the other characters. It would be easier to work on that character's arc. There are certain scenes that I just want to rearrange and change up just to make him come off a little bit, just to give it a little, je ne sais quoi. But there was another character I hinted at probably going to write instead. I really wasn't sure which one I should pick because my notes gave me room for both. Then on my way to grab something from the store real quick, I looked at the ground and one of the gas line grates was carved into the shape of a rabbit. There's gas line grates along that pathway all the way through Chinatown, and they have art carved into them, which I think is so cool that we can just take random things that are part of our life, that are part of making a functioning urban society, and then we just make it a little cool, just make it pretty. Why not take this storm drain and carve it to look like something? Which is something I've tried to put in my world building because that's what humans do. We take functional things and then we make them less ugly. Anyway, I decided to work on this character going through the entire novel, just doing maybe one or two passes looking for scenes where I can improve that character and work in an arc where there wasn't one before. This is a character who wasn't originally part of the main journey, so she was a bit of a blank slate when I went into writing. A lot of the other characters already had a lot of either scenes from previous versions of the story that I wrote, or I had a lot of notes of them already. It was easier to write them and figure them out along the way, where this character was newer. So for this particular arc, I think it might take me 2 days, maybe 3 days, knock on wood, because last time, I don't know if I included that in the edits, but I did get sick after my first day of writing, and I spent several days sick before I could be up and writing and moving about again. Hopefully it only takes me at max, again, knock on wood, 3 days to work on this character. I just need to do an overview of what kind of scenes I need to work on. And I think I like this format. I definitely did change up how I'm doing things just to make these videos shorter. I do not want to put out a video that long for a writing vlog episode again. But if you've tuned in this long, great. And sorry I didn't edit out all my sniffles. I did not realize I was sick when I was filming all of that. But that was fun, scrubbing through all footage to edit out sniffles. Absolutely great. Anyway, I'm actually dressed this way because I'm going for a run, and when I get back, hopefully I get that post-run dopamine that people say exists, that I don't believe exists, and start writing. There were only 2 big scenes and 1 mini scene I needed to work on, or really that I could work on. There's a big confrontation and a reunion that impacts his character, and the hardest part of writing it is really practicing moderation for her emotional journey. I'll definitely need to do another pass to really register the pacing on this, but it's all I can do for now. With those done, I hit a tiny snag or a big snag, or we'll get to that. Anyway, I had to head home earlier than planned, but c'est la vie. Okay, I am about to join a live. It is going to be Lynn again with 2 writers and YouTubers. I don't think I've heard of them before. Well, one of them I might have seen, but they're all going to be in a live. There's going to be a bunch of writers in the chat just like last time, and everyone seems to be talking about Camp NaNoWriMo. I might link that in the description so in case anyone doesn't know what NaNoWriMo is. It's basically short for National Novel Writing Month, where you spend the entire month of November, 30 days, trying to write 50,000 words. It doesn't even have to finish the novel. It's just as an opportunity to try to actually get the words out there. And during the summer, there's like a camp summer version of it. But yeah, the chat is starting to fill up with people, and I'm expecting it to start any second. And I'm excited being around like-minded folks. So
yeah, I've been really wanting to write like from the point of view of like a male character recently. But
you should. It's fun.
I know.
I write a lot of guy main characters. I think it's because it makes me feel like I'm not self-inserting, even
wants to start recording word count, you can do that. I'm going to do 25 minutes Pomodoro style, and then do another little breakout chat session. Yeah. And I'm currently working on...
With my rabbit-hearted girl mostly refined in those latter scenes, I pivoted to my immortal man. This was a lot easier to work on. The emotional beats are the same, the actual scenes play out the same, but I changed this character's name and background, plus some major world-building elements that directly contradict how I wrote this the first time. This all is broken down into 3 scenes, each that come at the end of a specific arc throughout the story, so it kind of bookends those arcs. I don't know what it is about this character that is easy to write, but I got into a flow state pretty quickly. I barely paid attention to the live stream I was in, but I ended up completely rewriting the final scene for him and burned through around like 1,100 words in 25 minutes, which feels really great. And it just feels good to put that behind me. It actually feels like that was the easiest thing to rewrite. And I don't know why I was holding it off for so long. Maybe it's because the excitement of the other stuff I was working on. But that takes care of him for now until I do another pass and decide maybe I should change this or that. We'll see. I'm glad I got those scenes done, but remember that tiny, big snag that's not a snag, but kind of a snag, but it really is. So the scenes where my rabbit-hearted girl originally gets her first moments, her first characterization, they're all on a chopping block. Some are getting reworked, as I've done with prior scenes, as I've talked about in previous recordings. And unfortunately, there are 2 big ones, and they're all in Act 2, and it's like a collection of scenes really that builds up like a lot of the world, introduces a bunch of different characters, kind of pushes the plot forward. Those are getting bulldozed. Like, I am completely rewriting them. I'm changing the when and the where and the how that these characters come to be at this place and meet these characters. And there's a lot of wasted opportunity in those scenes as they are now to really show some color, some flavor, build up a little more tension, make everything thematically more consistent. And fortunately, our rabbit-hearted girl, she's got a paw in every one of those scenes, basically. So all the ones where she originally shines, I have to go back and I have to rewrite those. But it's a good opportunity to really examine them and figure out how can I write this in a way that revolves around helping these characters shine, rather than trying to figure out how to make this character shine in spite of what's happening in the scenes. Funny enough, all of those scenes, she just so happens to share with another character who is the next up on my list to rewrite for the most part. We'll just call her my Dragoon for now. But yeah, they're in it together. They're on the Titanic, and it is sinking, and one of them is blowing a little whistle, and it's pathetic. I really have my work cut out for me in that regard. I need to probably plan time to just sit down and just do an outlining itself, because I'm going to be writing brand new content, new scenes, not just reworking like I have before. So it feels like I need to be in the right headspace so that I can approach it right and remember why I'm writing this in the first place. And honestly, this week is going to be busy. I have a lot of work to catch up on. I have my actual job. I have training sessions and a concert or two to attend, and non-literary projects to work on. But otherwise, we shall see. It's tough to have a routine when it hinges on my creativity and my output with this book, which really comes down to sitting down, getting my head on straight, and trying to keep track and organization of all these scenes and characters and what I want this to sound like and feel like. But, you know, creativity, it comes and goes with the moons.